What's going on, Ambitious Vets? Welcome to episode number 54 of the Ambitious Vet Show with professional certified coach, public speaker, ultra runner, and 20 plus year Army veteran, Kirby Ingles. Welcome to the Ambitious Vet, where we believe if you desire more, you have to become more. My name is Chris Hoffman, Marine combat veteran turned passion-driven entrepreneur. On this show, I dive into the trenches with today's top military veteran thought leaders and influencers who know what it takes to not only pay the bills after the military, but really make an impact. You're going to hear their stories, their failures, and their golden grenades to empower you to execute on what matters most in your life. Are you a veteran that has been out of the uniform for a while and you've got the stability underneath you, but you're just realizing that that's not necessarily what boosts the life satisfaction? Maybe you're not feeling like that Superman or that Superwoman you felt when you served in the uniform and you're wondering why. Well, if that's you and you're figuring out what is that next mission, what is the thing that's going to really fulfill me? But not only that, help me feel like I'm living that impactful life that I felt like I was living inside the uniform. I want you to click the link in the show notes below. Schedule a sniper focus strategy session with me where we can dive into what matters most, where you're at right now, where you want to go, and start mapping out what are the tactics, the milestones, the resources, the people that you could be connecting with that are right in front of you, right? That you could actually start doing right now. And not only that, but I want to help you get clear on the landmines that stop you on a daily and weekly basis. And then if you're open to it, at the end, you could schedule and actually book the one of the last two one-on-one coaching clients that I'm only taking on the next quarter before our next sprint in October. If that's you, click the link below. Let's narrow the time gap in you executing on what matters most to you in your life post-military. I hope to hear from you soon.
Hey, this is Steven, host of Knucklehead Podcast, and you're listening to the Ambitious Vet Podcast with Chris Hoffman.
Again, I just want to welcome you, Ambitious Vet, to episode number 54 of the Ambitious Vet Show. Again, just thank you for joining us and being consistent to the mission here. And if you haven't already, go and subscribe, rate, and review the podcast, and be posting and sharing this to your own network of friends and veterans that desire more but don't know the first step towards becoming more. This is a bonus episode that we just did a live interview inside the Ambitious Vet Tribe yesterday with the brand new moderator, Kirby Ingles, who's going to be taking over the daily operations of the tribe. And I couldn't be more excited. Kirby has done over 20 plus years of Army experience, retired as a first sergeant in the Army, still doing some reservists over there at Fort Linderwood, Missouri. So if anybody's listening to this around that area, definitely make the time to connect with him in the show notes below. But he has 2 decades of building high-performing teams and building high-performing leadership around him. He has now pivoted into coaching and just really helping fatherless men go from where they are to where they want to be, giving them frameworks to create abundant and just a satisfying and a rich life that we all desire when we get out of the uniform. So, guys, I'm really excited about this. A lot of raw, straight-up content, just complete honesty. He's another Missouri boy just like me. No fluff, no BS, just white or black. This is what he plans on bringing to the tribe. So if you're listening to the podcast and you have not joined the Ambitious Vet Tribe on Facebook, I would definitely do that. And if you're not a Facebook fan, totally got it. I would at least, spend once a week inside the tribe and just figure out who's who inside of there, because, they say 5 degrees of separation, but that really is true. Whenever you connect with the right people, sometimes your time frame to getting to your next mission really does speed up. But really good stuff here. Just a few things that stood out for me was him talking about a community that he plans on building inside the Ambitious Vet Tribe that feeds itself, right? Kind of building an ecosystem of opportunity right inside the tribe. He talks about a lot of his personal struggles developing as a leader. He talks about how you've how practical tips on how you get into the tribe and actually get immediate traction inside of there and figure out who to connect with immediately. Because, as you get into like-minded tribes, sometimes you don't know where to connect, and Kirby's going to be that first means of connecting the dots as soon as you get inside the tribe. So guys, I don't want to steal his thunder. Great interview here inside the tribe. Bonus episode for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Here it comes. Kirby Ingles. Guys, I'm excited to kind of dive into the why. What had him want to step up inside this tribe to inspire a few of you guys that are looking for more opportunity, maybe just look for more direction or guidance around people that are already creating impact out of uniform. How do you get closer to the people that are actually impacting on a bigger level than you are doing right now in life? So guys, this is going to be really informal. I got my phone right here in front of me to engage live with you guys. If you guys have any questions for Kirby, you guys can drop them in the comments below and we can answer, or he can answer them in real time. And this is really about Kirby, has nothing to do with me, and really the vision that he sees that he can contribute to moving on in the future of the ambitious vet tribe. So Kirby, brother, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Come on, man. Welcome live inside the tribe. We're excited to have you, brother.
Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So kind of dive in, man. Like, who is Kirby, man? Like, who are you?
Well, everyone knows probably that I'm a veteran or else I wouldn't be here. I'm a husband, I'm a father, a coach, a speaker, an ultra runner, a child advocate. But those are really just all roles. I've been about 23 years of military service, 20 on active duty. Made the rank of first sergeant. And, I'm really just a servant of this nation. But that's not really who I am. It's who I am is a person that loves to help other people, to give. And I get a lot of satisfaction out of watching other people succeed. And that kind of brings me my happiness and my purpose in life. And that's why I really wanted to be a coach, and a speaker, is to help impact other people's lives, because that was the most rewarding thing for me, rather than a paycheck or a dollar, is that personal connection and impact with somebody else.
Yeah, I love that. And, guys, for those of you that are tuning in here live, or if you're if you're watching replay, hashtag replay in the comments below. And even if you're watching live on replay, let us know where you're at. I want everyone inside this tribe that goes and watches this to go back and connect with people in your local cities and stuff like that, because that's really where this tribe is going, and where we want to see is you guys that are in the closer proximity connecting together. And those of you guys that are listening to this on the podcast, same thing. If you're not already inside the ambitious vet tribe, why are you not? It's going to narrow your time frame in your next mission. So Kirby, brother, I love it, man. I mean, I talked to you for an hour last Saturday, and I just fell in love with who you are and how you can naturally speak from the heart and inspire people, brother. And, I wanted to, obviously I'm super grateful that you chose the ambitious vet tribe to kind of step in as a community leader, but why was it for you, man? Why the ambitious vet tribe for Kirby?
Well, first of all, I really have to give a shout out to Ben Killaway over there on the Vet Dad podcast. He was the one who kind of mentioned this tribe to me. And it took me a few days to kind of follow through with that, and once I did, I hit in there and I realized that you guys are the 1%. And, our veterans and our soldiers and sailors and airmen and service members across the world, they're the 1% in the world. And it's really in the name. It's the ambitious vet. And that's who I am. I'm ambitious and I'm a veteran, and I want to be surrounded by like-minded people who are just hungry and want to pursue excellence in everything that they do, just like we did when we were in the military. I know for the most part, what each and every veteran in this group or guy or gal has done for its nation. And there's really no other group of people that I would be more proud of to stand beside. And actually, I admire every single one, even though that I've done some of the things that they've done. Service members and veterans inspire me every single day, and in or out of the uniform, especially those that are still hunting and climbing the ladder, even after they've achieved so much. They're still trying to get better and better and better. So that's why the ambitious vet, because I see that inside this tribe.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it sounds like overall, just the end mission, the end goal of what we're doing here as a team, right, was the thing that really pulled you into action towards stepping up. And big shout out to Ben Kaloy. He was a moderator all of last year and really made a difference in creating the creed and a lot of the direction of where this tribe is today. So big shout out to Ben Kaloy, Marine veteran, podcaster, high-level guy, helping fathers come back home from the military. So amazing, amazing guy. So I mean, you touched on it a little bit, Kirby. What does this movement, as far as desiring more and becoming more to attract more opportunity and you know, the daily trenches of life as ambitious vets, what does this movement mean to you?
Well, it means everything, because I know a lot of guys and gals that have a lot of fear about leaving the military, and maybe some stay longer than others because of the security or lack of security on the outside that they feel like there is. But this is a movement that's really going to set the example for them. Not that we're trying to pull them out, but it's going to help them rest a little bit easier at night. It's going to help them get excited and motivated about that transition period. I see a lot of guys and gals every day that leave the service, and a lot of them just look depressed because it looks like somebody shot their dog. I mean, life is over. They're not going to have an impact anymore. You know, they're going to be in the trenches, but that's not really what happens. There's tons and tons of opportunities out there, and really their lives are just beginning, and these opportunities are just really starting to blossom for them. They've just spent the last 20 years preparing for what's about to happen, and that's how they have to look at it. I think if we can just give them that sense of purpose and drive and pursuit of excellence, and none of that has to really fade away after you leave the military. It can still continue. And I see a lot of guys in this tribe still doing that. They have purpose. They have drive. They pursue excellence every single day. We here in this tribe just need to help them either do an azimuth check, realign, or synchronize their values, their desires, their vision, purpose, mission, goals, things like that really reflects a high performance life after the military, and show them that the results are possible. It's within their reach, and they can achieve anything they set out to do.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it, man. You're at the source of what has this tribe continue to win award after award, and just continue to attract high quality veterans like yourself that are really just out there rocking and rolling, man. So you said a lot of amazing golden grenades there. And one thing I want you kind of just to kind of spit in here real quick is like, you know, what did you see missing inside this tribe? Because here's the thing, man, is no Facebook group is perfect. And for anybody that's inside any Facebook community, if they only knew what happens on the back end as far as quality control, screening processes, and just trying to vet people and not be the one with all the answers, but then you're afraid to bring people in, right? Because someone else inside the tribe may have gotten screwed in the past. I mean, there's a lot of politics inside the tribe. And, you know, from our phone call last week, is I'm not a political guy. I am who I am, and I am who I'm not. And I'm totally honest about it. So it's just like, what did you see was missing inside this tribe coming in, man?
So what I really saw missing was the collaboration. And I kind of hit that a little bit. The posts are there, and a lot of other things are there, but it was the community collaboration, a community that really moderates itself and adds daily value. I've seen a lot of Facebook groups that I follow that do that, and that's what I saw. You bring value every day, but it's a community that does that for itself. And that's how I would describe that, is it's a community that feeds itself, but also feeds back off of itself.
There we go. I love that.
Yeah. And, you know, one of the other couple things that I saw also that I thought we could possibly work on is giving those new members, right? Those new members a warm welcome. Anytime you have a community or tribe, an organization, when they walk in the door, if you're not like giving them that warm welcome and say, hey, and here would be the third thing that I would add was, what is your greatest need? And let me help you solve that problem. You just won somebody for life. You just want a friend. And you know what? If you take care of them, they're going to be there for you when you need it. And it's not, I'll get kind of this later, I guess, but you know, one of my motto or sayings is give more than you think you can give, and you'll get more in return. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, brother. And I appreciate you coming in, being completely honest, and giving the real feedback that's going to help this tribe really go to the next level, brother. Because a lot of people come in, they don't like the culture, they don't like the value that's being provided, but they don't say anything. And thanks for being someone that is willing to come in, see quality, see value, but also being willing to step up and actually shift it to make sure that everyone inside this tribe is getting what they need to really prosper out of the uniform. So I'm going to turn this into like a minute teaching session. That's why I have the whiteboard, because I knew that Kirby was going to come in here and drop some golden grenades, and then me and Kirby can just kind of go back and forth with this idea. But for those of you guys who are listening on this podcast, thank you for listening. Go to the Ambitious Vet Tribe, and I want you guys to watch this live. But one thing I want to kind of bring a teachable moment to is every one of you guys, when you come in your screen, you have a number one problem, right? You one of the top screen questions is, what are you struggling with as an ambitious vet? So when someone comes in and they're welcome to the tribe, we do the welcome tribe. And I know Kirby's going to have some great culture building stuff and stuff like that as we move forward with the tribe and all that. But they're coming in with number one struggle, one reason why they're coming in. And ultimately, we want to figure out as a tribe, together with our own resources and tools, how do we solve that problem? So when we do the welcome to the tribe post, we want to be thinking, whenever they are engaging and commenting on what they're doing, we want to be thinking in multiple ways. Like, what resources do I have that could narrow the gap, right? And Kirby, what could you think of as far as resources that you could have to provide, someone dealing with stuff? Like, what would be examples of resources?
So, for example, mentors, right? I've already used this one this week. So we had a new member that came in the tribe and asked about a mentor. Crickets, right? So I got in their personal message, shot him and said, hey, man, look, if you're looking for a mentor, tell me what exactly you're needing so I can make sure you match up with the right person. So I don't want you hunting. I want to set you up with the right people, because I have a pretty good network. I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years. The whole network marketing thing on LinkedIn and Facebook and all the other social media stuff. Just people I've known over across the time. 23 years in the military. They're out there somewhere. So it's just finding the right person to hook up with. And I've had a lot of great mentors. And so I ran across a program called Veterati.com, which is nothing but people that want to mentor soldiers. And that's all. And some of them are soldiers mentoring soldiers that they're out. And I've probably connected with 20, maybe 30 mentors on there. That's how I ran into Dan Dwyer. That's how I looked, just stuff like that. And I got on there, I loaded up my LinkedIn profile, and it started spitting out these mentors that I matched up with. And I'm still connecting. Like this week, I have a connection with another mentor that I found on there that I'm like, oh man, this is a really cool person. I want more from them. I want to hear about their story. I want to hear how they got through this point in their life, and see if I can pull some value out of them. And then maybe there's something that I can return. I've had mentors that work for Stanley McChrystal, the former general officer in the Stanley McChrystal company, refer me to other coaching companies so I could get my start and get my foot in the door and at least start to get clients so I could start to build up some repetitions. And so you just got to tell them what you need. I said, I need clients. He's like, here's a great company. They'll throw clients at you. And so it was awesome. I had to do an onboarding process and I had to go through their training, but he helped me solve my problem. And that's just one of those resources like Veterati.com, that's been very beneficial to me personally.
Yeah, that's awesome. So see, there you go, guys. Those of you that are inside this tribe, I mean, leverage people like, Kirby that are inside this tribe. And I encourage anybody inside of here, this isn't a Chris Hoffman group, and I'm not here trying to make any money off this group or anything like that. I mean, is this an impact driven? Is this a purpose driven tribe? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, the value comes from within, and communities can either end or start wars. But this war that we're fighting right here is to get veterans unstuck in their next mission, increase their quality of life on another level. So one last thing I would just do before we kind of dive into Kirby's idea of where he wants to help take the tribe in the next year, 2 years, is I want you guys, every time someone posts inside the tribe, what they're up to, what their mission is, or their story, is think about some insights or experiences that you could connect them with, right? stories. Like Kirby continues to talk about the stories, right? So we were talking a little bit offline before this, and stories tell more than actually telling facts all the time. I don't know if a lot of you guys in here have heard someone that's just a dictator or an authoritarian. I may even come off like an authoritarian or a dictator to you guys sometimes based on my tonality, and I totally got it, and the knife hands that I throw every now and again. But it's just like sometimes you just got to come from a story. And one thing I love about Kirby and what he's going to consistently bring inside this tribe is he's always a story collector. Sometimes whenever someone comes in the tribe and starts sharing their mission or what matters to them and stuff like that, maybe there's a story that you have in the past or experience, or maybe you had that failure, you were in that stage of life. What is an insight that you could bring to the table and give them one practical tip that they could take action on, guys? That's how you start developing a quality personal brand that in the next year, 2 years, you start creating consistent opportunities in life. It's the small daily investments, the dividends and stuff like that you ultimately bring the ROI and stuff like that. So, Kirby, do you have anything to add to that, brother?
No, man, I think you hit it. I mean, that's exactly the conversation we had. Stories have a lot really to express. I don't think that the service members of this country have communicated that story as often and as much as we should. And I think if we do that, people resonate with stories. And when we do that, they're going to know what you bring to the table. They're going to know what your experiences are. And until we tell those stories, they're not going to know. And they're not going to appreciate what we have done and gone through and the skill sets and the experiences we bring to the table. And you have to tell those stories. As a Toastmaster, that was one of the things I struggled with the most. And I had to go do a specific educational course on storytelling in order to figure this out. So don't be afraid. And I was afraid to get up in front of people and talk. I hated it. I communication was or public speaking or communication 101 or whatever it is, was the very last class I took in college because I just procrastinated it. Wow. I didn't want to do it. I hated it, and I finally did it. And now I just love speaking in front of an audience. It's very powerful. I've gotten over my fears. I mean, sometimes some jitters come back every once in a while, but that's with everything you do because you really want to do a good job. So some of those things start to come back, but it's because you care, because you want to hit a home run, and that's okay. But like I said, you got to tell the story, and you got to learn how to communicate your story and tell it in a way that makes you powerful and also kind of tells your brand.
Yeah,
what's your
Absolutely. And, I learned this in my sales trainer days, and it's sometimes you're not the answer to the problem in front of you. And it took me a long time to give up my pride and ego to always be the guy that brung the solution to the problem. But sometimes a story that you just heard from a conversation that you had 2 weeks ago may be the thing that gives them the ha-ha moment that keeps them in action in their life. So guys, always be thinking about how do I give versus get. And, I'm just going to, call some people, straight out inside of this live right now. Anybody that's inside this tribe, PMing people on the back end, trying to drive business inside this business, you can do it for a certain amount of time, but eventually time will either promote or expose you. So, if you're doing that, just know that it's going to come up to the surface at some point. I always suggest if you really want to become a leader inside this tribe and actually have the conversion in your business that you're trying to, do inside here is, be straight up, provide meaningful conversations up front. That builds the trust, and don't leverage mine or Kirby's name to get into a conversation with our audience, because it doesn't do anything but expose you long term. And I promise you don't want to be a black flag inside this community. So that's just something on the side here that I've been getting PMs from on the back end. I'm just calling people out on that end. Podcast listeners, guys, disregard that if you're not in the tribe. If you're coming in, definitely let me or Kirby know on that end of things. This is not going to be a place where people do guerrilla selling on the back end of this thing. We're making sure we're solving veterans problems on the front end where we all know what's going on, so we know how to support each other, moving the mission forward. So Kirby, I mean, brother, where do you see this tribe going a year from now and stuff like that with, with you coming in and kind of, filling the gaps and some of the puzzle pieces that we're trying to put together here?
Well, I'm not exactly sure if you really want me to answer this question because I have big dreams and visions, and I'm a big thinker. So, man, I learned a long time ago, if you don't think big, then you just don't even try. Just go for the hard stuff. And I see events, workshops, masterminds. I see guys and gals getting together and networking in regional areas and large cities in this tribe. And it's going to start here digitally, right? It's going to start out here. But as people start to learn, like, oh, Chris is in my city, or Kirby's in my city, or he's just down the road, they're going to want to get together, connect on a personal level. I was talking to John Krotek about this, the connection today, the physical connection. It's one thing when we connect right here and we hear each other and we can hear our voices and stuff like that. But it's another thing when you shake another person's hand and you across from the table and you can feel it a lot better. And I think that's what's going to happen here. I see that this tribe's going to connect, like I said, it's going to connect it, we're connecting in the sky, but also we're going to be ground pounders on the ground. So it's going to go from up here, this digital world, down here on the ground. Veterans are going to start forming bonds with each other and helping each other out, helping their families out, picking each other up in tough times. There's another one I saw that's just like this. And I think this one has the potential, but guys and gals are reaching out, taking care of each other, helping each other out all the time. I think this tribe can really be a cross between two organizations I really have a lot of respect for. That's Team Rubicon and Team RWB. And I say that is because of the demographics of the population. And that's why I appreciate them, but also their ability to take care of each other, connect, and still find ways to serve on a larger scale. And that's where I see this going. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be kind of a part of this movement also, is because I can see that. I can see the potential.
Yeah, no, I love that. Thanks for casting that in, because guys, those of you guys are going to take the time. We appreciate your time to either listen to this or watch this. I want you guys to be thinking, how can you start taking daily or weekly steps inside this tribe, take ownership of that vision that Kirby just created? Because that might be a vision, right? But the missions and the daily tactics, weekly tactics and stuff like that are ultimately what fulfills on that vision. So how can you, as a listener on the podcast, or even as a member inside the Ambitious Vet Tribe, how can you take ownership of that and reach out to me and Kirby and see how we can potentially narrow the gap in making that happen? So, brother, we have a tradition, as you probably already know, being inside the tribe and listening to the podcast. What are 3 golden grenades that Kirby drop into the tribe, the podcast, the audience that is internationally? What would you drop in here right now to narrow the gap in an ambitious vet making real impact in their life post-military?
So the 3 golden grenades I have for this tribe is the podcast and the lives. You got to go back and start listening to it. If you just started, or you're only in this a couple weeks or a couple months, go back and start with episode 1 and work your way to the current episode. Life is happening in and outside the military and in this tribe. There are real stories. There's vets being very vulnerable about what happened in the military and outside the military, and real straight talk. And it's very inspirational. And plus all the golden grenades that they give you. I think I just started on Monday. I've gotten through 7 episodes, and I have 7 takeaways from each episode that I got to put in action. I got to figure out how to take the time to, there's just so much. I'm just trying to take one thing out of each one of those and walk away with it. I mean, there's probably more than that in each one, but I'm trying to take the most actionable piece out of there for myself and then move with that. So that's the first one. But really, I think the first one should be, and it should be the number one, is the flesh and blood that's in this tribe. It's the biggest golden grenade. Just like military weapons don't fire themselves, and bullets and beams don't go where they need to go, and trucks don't move, and planes don't fly themselves, and ships don't sail without somebody at the helm. You can't transition in anything in life without a solid group of people around you to kick you when you need some accountability, to pick you up when your face is down in the mud, and encourage you to take that machine gun nest when your fears kick in. I mean, there's things we're all afraid to do, right? But we need somebody to kick us and push us and encourage us to do what we need to do. And you need that, whether it's your wife, your family, your children, mom, dad, your neighbors, your employees, or, business partners, your mastermind, whatever. You need a group of people around you to help you. And people are doors of opportunity. And that's exactly what they are. Everybody sometimes is all trying to go through the same door, right? But nobody ever achieved anything in this world by themselves, and they need help. And that kind of goes to another point of mine, or another thing that I learned along the way, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, is ask somebody what their greatest need is. And it's like everybody's trying to do the same thing, and everybody's competing to get through that door of opportunity. But unless you know what that person's greatest need are, you're probably not going to get their attention. And once you solve that problem, their greatest need, you're going to get their attention, and you're going to be moving through those doors, and they're going to be opening other doors up for you in the process. So it's a reciprocal relationship. You give, they give, and that's the way the world's got to work, or else it just doesn't work at all. I think I told you in the past, a good author of mine, actually a favorite author of mine, Stephen Covey, basically said, win-win or no deal, right? It's got to work for both sides, or somebody loses, and then somebody walks away from the table a little bitter. So make a great deal and a great relationship. It's got to be win-win. And I say the last one really is simply, and you're going to say, what? That's crazy, or most people probably will, but go to the group, find the search box, and just start putting in there whatever it is that you need. I challenge you to do that, and put in there whatever your greatest need is. I need a mentor, or I need help finding a job, or I'm struggling in my marriage. Whatever it is, put a couple keywords in there, search for it, and see if it pops up. There are tons and tons of nuggets, golden grenades, information that's just hanging out there in the group, waiting for somebody that sees it. It's a directory. It's of people that will help you, that have been through this, of experiences, stories that they've shared. It's all right there. All you got to do is use the search box. And if it's not there, all I'm asking you to do is to reach out to me. And if you don't want to ask the question, I'll ask it for you. So that way, if you're struggling with that, you're like, hey, I'm kind of afraid of that, let me ask it for you. I'm okay with that. Or PM me on the side, and I'll see what I can do to help you. I mean, it's the least that I could do. I mean, you served your country. I mean, that's the least that I could do.
That's huge. I love it. I love your stand, man. I just love your commitment, your stand, and all that kind of stuff for fulfilling on not only what matters most to your life and what fulfills you, man, but also to everyone inside the tribe. I think I speak for everyone that's going to listen to this on the podcast, and also watch this thing, is that you can tell a lot about a man by what he says, but also you can tell a lot about a man on how he follows through. And I challenge each and every one of you guys that are listening to my voice right now, or that are watching this, I want to challenge you guys to take Kirby up on that offer. You joined this tribe for a reason. Reflect on that reason. And if you're not fulfilling on that need yet, reach out to Kirby. I'm sure, and I know he's been doing his homework. He's been literally messaging me via email saying, I've listened to 6 podcasts now. I'm figuring out who's who, reconnecting to everyone that you've interviewed on the podcast. So he knows who are the key players inside this tribe. And if you want the person that's really going to solve that problem, I would connect with Kirby, and he's going to be the first contact in this tribe moving forward as we start creating what's next. As you can hear out of his own words, his vision. And guys, that's not even scratching the surface of what we're going to be creating with the Ambitious Vet Tribe in the next year, 2 years. And it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Kirby Ingles over here beside me. So Kirby, brother, I just want to thank you, brother. I want to thank you for who you are, for your family. I know that you're a guy that values family first and increasing the quality of your life. And I think that shows through 100%. And I think also, I just want to thank you for just being the guy that's continuing to serve 20 plus years in the Army out there. And, you're in Fort Leonard Wood, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So anybody around Fort Leonard Wood area, connect with them. There's a huge military population over there. So if you're over there, connect with them. But brother, I just want to thank you for continuing to serve in and out of the uniform, if that makes sense. Thank you for joining us live inside the tribe.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, Ambitious Vet, episode number 54 of the Ambitious Vet Show. If you just got one golden grenade out of this episode, do us all a favor. Go ahead and just go post that in any of your social media outlets and put hashtag golden grenade. Make sure you tag me and Kirby inside of that so we know that we are blowing up your mind and allowing you to have clear, actionable steps to get out there and improve your life day after day out there inside the trenches. If you haven't already, check out the show notes below. Schedule that 15-minute sniper-like focused strategy execution call, and I promise you, from the minute you say hello till I say hello to the end of that 15 minutes, I plan on giving you everything that you need to map out what you want your next 6 months to a year to look like. I just came back from an event from Roger Hamilton this past Tuesday, and it talks about how people don't pay for knowledge. Knowledge is free nowadays. Google is our new common sense, but direction is what people pay high dollar for, right? And if you are looking for that direction, if you're at A and you don't know how to get to B, schedule a call. I want to help you out. I want to empower you. I want to narrow the gap in you accomplishing that. And you can do that in the show notes below. As always, please subscribe, rate, review the podcast. If you haven't already, feedback is what allows anything to improve in life. And we want to improve in the trenches right beside you. So meet us in the middle and let's get better together. Also, I'm going to put my email in the show notes below. If there's any feedback that you want to be giving here, even if it says, hey, Chris, you're doing great, or I'd like to have this guest on, or if you'd like to be a guest, you can send your media packet to the email inside the show notes below. Lastly, I already know if you're listening to this, you're warrior made. But to become passion driven, utilize this one golden grenade you just heard on today's bonus episode, and you're going to find your life being more meaningful. Let's go get it.